Good morning once again. This is Deborah. I'm here again to talk about an ICT topic titled Computer Ethics. Now, we are going to be looking at the definition of computer ethics. We are also going to be looking at computer room management ethics, and we are going to be looking at the various rules and regulations that must be observed in a computer laboratory. Now, what do we mean when we are talking about computer ethics? Computer ethics has to do with the expected type of environment, the rules and regulations that guarantees an optimum performance of your computer. Basically, it has to do with the principles, the moral principles, the right way of doing things when we are working with a computer in order to ensure that the lifespan of our computer is not shortened. Wherever we have a computer or the environment where we have several computers, there are different management ethics that should be considered in order to ensure that our computers perform to its best. What are these computer room management ethics? The first I'd like to talk about is good ventilation. The room where we have our various computers must be airy. You're either going to have good windows and doors to ensure cross ventilation, or you ensure there are ACs and fans in the computer room. Remember, one of the features of our computers is that they generate heat. So because they generate heat, the room where they are placed needs to be cool so that there can be exchange of air. The next computer room management ethics I'd like to talk about is a dust-free environment. Wherever we have our computers and peripherals, that environment must be free of dust. Dust is not a friend to our computers. Dust can actually damage our hardware, be it computers, be it printers, and every other kind of peripherals. So the environment, the room where we have these devices must be free of dust at all times. The third computer room management ethics I'd like to talk about is good lighting. Of course, the environment where you want to use computer systems must be bright enough for the user. Imagine having computers in a very dark room and the user has to get into that room to use such computer. The possibility of you tripping over cables or devices are very high because the room is too dark. So the environment where you have your computers and devices must be well lit. Another computer room management ethics that must be observed in order to keep our computers' lifespan very good is we ensure that we use stable and vibration-free tables. We don't just place our devices on any kind of surface. We should ensure that the surface on which we place our devices are stable and vibration-free so that we do not have the opportunity or we do not have cases where we have devices crashing down the floor. So whatever surface we are going to place our devices must be stable and vibration free. We must also properly set our computers. We must arrange our devices in a way that there's enough workspace for people to move around. We should ensure that our cables are well arranged. We ensure that our monitors, our system units, our printers, our peripherals are well arranged to ensure that there's enough workspace for the user to play around with. And also, we should ensure that our computers and other devices are protected from power problems. How do we protect these devices from power problems? By using devices like the UPS, which stands for uninterruptible power supply, by using stabilizers, and by using surge protectors. This will protect our devices from unexpected power outage, current voltage that are not stable, and also cases of power surge. So we need to protect our devices from power problems by using our UPS, stabilizers, and possibly our power surge protectors. Now that we've talked about the computer room management ethics, we would like to move on to talk about several rules and regulations that must be observed in a computer room or a computer lab. There are so many of them, but I would just like to highlight a few of them. In a computer room, these are the few rules and regulations that must be observed in order to avoid accidents within the computer room. The arrangement of your tables and chairs must be orderly and done in a comfortable manner. The arrangement of our computers and peripherals must be orderly. We must avoid food particles from dropping in the lab to avoid insects, meaning eating is not allowed in a computer laboratory. We must also avoid liquid from dropping into the system, meaning that bringing in of liquids are not allowed in a computer laboratory, because when liquids mistakenly drop on our devices, it could cause electric shock and it could cause accidents like someone stepping on the wet floor and slipping to the floor. We should avoid accumulation of dust. Like I said initially, dust is not a friend of our devices. It is not proper to move our systems while it is switched on. It will affect the hard disks. When you're done with whatever you're doing on a computer, it is improper to switch off the computer from the main source. We must follow the correct shutdown process by saving our work, closing all programs, and do a proper shutdown before going to switch off from the main source. Of course, smoking is not allowed in a computer room. Drinking is not allowed in a computer room. Any form of behavior that would not ensure our safety and the safety of our devices are not allowed in a computer room. So we are going to be looking at more and more principles that we must observe in order to ensure a proper working of our computer and its associated peripherals in our next lesson. Remember, today we talked about the definition of computer ethics. We've talked about the computer room management ethics, and we've looked at some of the computer laboratory rules and regulations that must be observed so as to avoid accidents in a computer room. So stay tuned. We'll be talking about more topics in the next lesson. And I hope with these, you begin to apply them while using computers so that you can enjoy a longer lifespan of your devices. Thank you very much. and have a pleasant day.